back to They Did What? Your source of the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'm going to do a story titled, Wife Has Been Unfaithful for Years. And a shout out to Isaac for sending in this story. And guys, this story is about a husband and father who is now in the process of getting things ready to divorce his wife after discovering what no man wants to discover, and in a way that no man wants to discover. He discovers that his wife has been, the village bicycle on multiple fronts. Many guys, many nasty activities, and the worst way he finds out is through the kids discover this and rat her out and want her gone. And this whole thing actually, guys, I see it's a longer video here, is like 7 or 8 parts, I believe, of little updates of what he's going through. And it is really a shame. This is a husband who tried to provide, be a good husband, a good father, and you see what she's doing here. And there's clearly many mistakes he made early on, but our guy here is struggling, and he's in the process of trying to play the long game and get things right, make her feel safe, and then boom, strike. I've been going to go over here, guys, making the point you always have to pay attention, and for goodness sake, you never be the type of guy that allows some of the crap that he once did. But at the end of the day, guys, you see this stuff, you have to end the marriage and move on. So it starts off, says here, it started with a hunch. I noticed her being less into me and wanting to be gone more and more often by May of last year. I found her asleep with her phone in her hand unlocked. You know it's pretty bad when she's freaking falling asleep with the phone in her hand. So I grabbed it and started snooping. I almost immediately found a conversation with her and another man sharing nude pics, and another sexting. I crashed out hard and woke her up and confronted her. Well, she eventually admitted it and claimed it was a mistake and promised to do better and try harder for our family. She was going out 3 to 5 days a week for 8 to 12 hours, sometimes a day. We got 3 kids. That's just too long for a parent to be gone on leisure. You're darn right about that. Who's there looking after the kids? It's terrible. So for months, she started staying home and trying harder to save the relationship. Or so I thought. A couple weeks ago, our kids approached me alone and confided in me that mom was cheating. They accessed her photos and chats from her phone while on her laptop and saw multiple conversations with multiple men over multiple years, and they saw her and her suitors' dirty pictures. My kids are 10, 8, and 5. And so this is devastating to me, and that they had to see such things. And when our kids no longer handled keeping what they saw a secret, they came and told me in tears. Those poor kids, little kids. The youngest is 5. And kids are smarter than freaking adults when it comes to technology. They found a way to go to see access to all this stuff. Holy crap. I'm not kidding about her being the village bicycle. They're never going to unsee that. But that's not even the worst of it. The dates that they saw weren't even the dates I saw. Thankfully, after I caught her the first time, she changed her phone PIN to match mine as a sign of good faith. From May all the way to December, I accepted that good faith symbol and never checked her phone. However, once my kids told me what they saw, I was appalled. You never checked her phone? Smack! And why were you planning the departure after all that? Your wife's talking to other guys, sending spicy material, and she's being gone all the time. What do you think she's doing, bro? I told you this guy, made some mistakes. Well, now it's obvious. So I waited until she was asleep and went through her phone. So many spicy messages, many nude photos shared. So much flirting and planning to leave me and the kids. Talk of running away and how I'm too jealous and controlling and how our marriage sucks. F my life, how about yours? No, she was talking about that he's controlling and jealous. They always paint the guy they're cheating on or their ex as the bad guy, every time. And the kids saw this, hearing their mom plans to leave them. The kids obviously don't mean anything to her. Next update. He says, with my last post, I thought I had laid it all out. But of course, there were things I had not anticipated. Like having the nerve to do what I'm about to do. Hopefully someone can help me manage my situation with some perspective. Everyone here helped me out massively on my last post. I'd like to express my deepest gratitude. It's something I haven't felt in a while. Well, this is the positive thing of the Reddit platform, that people can help guys struggling like this. There are a lot of psychos on Reddit, as you all well aware, and YouTube, but there's a lot of good people too. My biggest issue, having accepted my wife's cheating ways, is the adrenaline dumps. I just got out of work, and on the commute I was planning my strategy of getting a statement from the kids detailing what they saw. I was also thinking about the best way to serve her papers, and now that I'm home at 2 a.m., I've just begun shaking from the gravity of the situation. I feel like I felt after encountering aggression, as in the real world, fist cuff violence. But I've just been in my car alone. Also worth noting, I drive a salt truck this time of year, so I get a lot of thinking and driving time. So the dumps at the end of the night are ridiculous. I keep taking deep breaths, but I fear now cooping at the bottle is my only treatment. Is this PTSD? What the F is happening to me? Sir, you're going through hell. You discover what your wife has been doing, and the kids have seen this. That's the scariest and worst part. And you're trying to hold it all together. It's okay to freak out. It's okay to think you want to bury it all in the bottle. Well, don't do that. You got to be stronger now than ever for your kids and yourself. And get rid of the hoe. Next part. I got a video statement from the kids. I think I mentioned this in my previous update or in the comments. Since then, we've been talking about what to expect and how things might be when it's over while it goes down. Notably, my stepdaughter asked me if I could adopt her. That way I can have custody of all the kids. In reality, I feel like this would do the least damage to the kids. They already seem to be leaning on each other more and more instead of bickering. In a weird way, I think they want to be distanced from their mom. You bet your ass they want to be distanced from their mom. And that's nice. This is bringing the kids together. You know, it says something with the stepdaughter. By the way, he married a single mom. It says something that she wants him to adopt her so she has to be with a psycho mother. My wife tends to be callous and quick to anger. She's sassy and sarcastic and as all out, and does not believe in gentle parenting at all. So it doesn't surprise me they would choose me. Does anyone here have experience adopting a stepchild during a divorce of the mother? Well, if he wants to do it, it's going to be a mess. Her father has been ghosting her for over a year, so I'm basically her dad already. She calls me dad, not all the time, but I think she does because she wishes I was, and that her family wasn't so fractured. That poor kid. It is not her fault that her mom is a freaking psycho, and a cheater and awful person, and her dad's also ghosting her, ignoring her. My oldest son asked me who his new mom was going to be. Oh boy. My heart breaks for him. I told him that his mom will always be his mom, and he doesn't have to stop loving her. Too late. He kind of brushed it off like he already knew, and clarified that he wanted to know who his other mom would be. I don't know what to tell him other than the truth. I hadn't considered it yet, to be honest. It's not like I have a bunch of women on the back burner like some people I know. But that raises a significant question. I need a wife for my kids. I work a lot of hours and really need someone to help raise my family. I'm kind of at a loss what to do. How do I navigate finding a good woman to help raise my kids? I'm 35 years old, balding, missing teeth, and while I'm not in the greatest shape, I'm in the best shape of my life. I have a physically demanding job with a decently high-paying skill, underground sprinkling installation, so the job keeps me more fit than I ever was before. So where does a middle-aged guy find a wife material? I met my last one on Plenty of Fish as well. It didn't pan out. More like you met her on Plenty of Hoes. You see what's going on here? He has a lot of kids. He's the sole breadwinner. He works a lot of hard hours. It'd be nice to have a wife that was a good one, a good wife, good mother to take care of the kids. But already the kids are like, who's going to be my new mommy? And this is where guys mess up and rush into a new relationship, and you can have another wicked stepmother. No. Get help any way you can. Family, friends, whatever, to help take the burden with the kids, something. But you can't rush into another relationship. Otherwise, you're going to pick the wrong chick. You know? This is when the kids, although the 10-year-old is going to doing anything he can, the 10-year-old can really do what she can to help out. Another aspect that doesn't have to do directly with the kids is I kind of want more kids. Do I have a chance of finding someone out there who wants to take on someone else's kids and to make some of their own? I kind of feel jaded and bereft of hope in this matter. Dude, you have 3 children. You don't need any more kids. You got enough on your plate, for goodness sake. Next update. This is a whole series of updates in this crazy situation, and behind the scenes, the guy's planning his escape. It's been a week. I've been battling the snowstorm all week at work, so I haven't had much time to be here or to snoop throughout her phone some more, but I did get the other day and found some interesting things. To start, I asked the owner of the company for a loan after I gave him an elevator pitch of my situation. He effectively said maybe, let him think about it. I'm really hoping he lets me do it. So when I got in her phone, I took someone's advice to let the face scanner fail on my face several times. Then I used the password to get in her password manager and log the relevant data. I also peeked on her messages on Discord, wholly expecting to see her and her boyfriend's conversation, but they stopped talking on the 17th. So I followed some more good advice on here and found her secret folder and got on her Snapchat. Enter Snapchat, and she has a secret folder on her phone. So before I continue, let me just say, I recently learned about monkey branching on this subreddit. And well, basically, to put it blunt, my wife has been monkey branching like Doc Ock. Let that mental image marinate for a moment before continuing to read. Don't forget to chuckle, because I thought that was clever. So her Snapchat history just for that night was her, probably 2 nights ago, while she was sexting and flirting and sending the same naked pictures to 3 different guys at the same time. She must have felt a little guilty because she sent me a topless picture while I was at work. Dude, she doesn't feel guilty. She probably accidentally sent you that picture. I replied with sweet nothings like a good husband should, but in the back of my mind, asked myself how many other men got the same picture. The answer is at least 4, including me. But that was the tamest thing she sent, talking about full-on mutual pleasuring yourself videos sent back and forth between her and several men. They're sending videos pleasuring each other, pleasuring themselves to each other. I'm sure a lot of you are thinking what I was thinking, like, why isn't he kicking her out? Well, clearly, he's planning everything behind the scenes. She's thinking she can just get away with this, and this is why she's continuing to doing this, because she thinks she can get away with it. To be honest, I don't really want to see more. I'm over it. And at some point, why? Why do I need to see more? I just wish I had this lawyer in the bag so I can see how my case stands and how my evidence looks. I got every day this month since the 10th logged of her comings and goings. She leaves the kids home alone. She dips out several times a day for hours at a time. I kind of wish I'd been keeping logs for years, but at the same time it's so tiring. The fact that she can live a double or triple or quadruple life like this, I have a hard time with logging the evidence of it. It's an insane amount of dishonesty, but she's also talking shit about me to these men, like she's looking for approval for her actions from them, as if she ain't already laying down and saying anything to that end. Either way, I'm ready to be done. This is exhausting. Okay, you've gotten evidence. The kids are on your side. Get a fucking lawyer, dude. There's no point wasting your time. The original post looks like it first posted 24 days ago, and this has been little updates every few days. Next update. So I just have to blow off a little bit of steam here. My wife is completely ridiculous. I'm really trying to hold together until the time is right. It just amazes me how little she cares about any of us and how blatantly she shows it. She's showing it because she now knows that you know and you're still there. That's why. I know you're planning your escape, but still. You can read the whole story under the post, blah, 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 blah. Before leaving this morning, which is her daily routine, whenever I'm not working, she and the kids got into an argument, and my youngest son openly accused her of having lots of boyfriends, which of course she tried to brush off without a look of dismissal. The 5-year-old saying that? Damn. To which he responded, I'm right. But also turns out my wife has grounded my stepdaughter from her phone because she asked my wife why she always leaves, and what about your husband and your kids? My wife took that personally and won't even talk to her for 2 days. It is so sad when pieces of garbage like this can have children. This morning, all my stepdaughter wanted to know is where my wife was going, and my wife wouldn't answer her and told her she was going to send her to her dad's because she was being disrespectful. I think this was an empty threat, but nonetheless, I really don't think she wants anything to do with these kids anymore. She completely checked out. Obviously, she wants nothing to do with these kids. She's a piece of garbage, and you fell for her and got together with her, but that's in the past. What's done is done. You need to get rid of her as soon as possible. I hope they're in a at-fault divorce state. Well, she's pretending to love me for now until I'm financially ready. I'm pretending to love her back, but only because I want to be in the best possible position and want her to be in the worst position possible before I strike. She needs to pay and suffer and wallow in regret. She's not going to wallow. The only way she's going to wallow in regret is if she gets a bad deal. If she doesn't get any alimony or assets or stuff like that. That's the only way she's going to wallow in regret. She wants out of there. On her way out the door, she told me that if she would have answered, she would have had to follow up questions like, what about your husband and the kids? And then she scoffed and walked out, and she walked out, my youngest boy said, I wish I could kick you out of the house. The 5-year-old said that. She didn't even respond. Side note, she said that with a straight face, looking me right in the eyes, and then left before I could even think of a response. I do have a response though, but what about me and the kids? Next update says here, I just wanted to take some time to reflect on some things I've noticed lately. I haven't snooped in her phone in a while, but yesterday evening I noticed her smiling at her phone. That's because she's talking to somebody, dude. I don't think she knows, but I can see the reflection on her phone screen in her glasses. So technically I snooped a little bit. Who cares? I couldn't read what she was writing, but I know puppy love when I see it. Makes me wonder if a divorce might actually make her happy. I will update when that day comes. My stepdaughter, who's 10, came up earlier in the day yesterday and let me know her mom was taking selfies. I've caught her doing that at this point, and I pretend not to notice. It's funny because she does the thing, the camera looking down at her using her jawline to hide her weight. Even with her affair partner, she can't be completely honest. Yeah, that's what they do. They'll take all these crazy angles of the pictures to hide, that they're large and in charge. And to be honest, I simped for her so hard and for so long. We've been married 7 years, 8 in February. It would be a neat thing to serve her papers on our wedding anniversary. She probably still thinks I'm a good little simp. Little does she know, I'm just handing her all the rope her heart desires. Hand her enough rope to hang herself. I'm glad he can admit this. That's progress. You're not going to heal until you can admit where you screwed up, and he had been a simp. I've moved significantly in my earlier position at home. I used to discourage second and third shift jobs because 3 kids is a lot to handle when one parent has to sleep during the daytime. Now I'm saying go for it to her because I know the courts view those shifts as not conducive to family life. I used to practically beg her to stay home more and help raise the kids. Smack! Never beg. Be a fucking man. But now I say, go, babe, go park your car somewhere and read if you want. I got this. I got this log tracking your comings and goings. By the time she realized what happened, I also want her to realize that she has totally lost. Totally and unequivocally, completely shut out of luck. I don't care if she's happy or mad about it as long as she's all done that. To the extent that she's went to sex hundreds of men over the years, and who knows what else. Will be the same extent I have no mercy. All's fair in love and war, and this is both. My peace is my progress. Okay, you're logging everything and all that. Talk to a lawyer. I know you're planning for your perfect moment, but there is no perfect moment to strike. Now's the time to strike. Next up, part 7. I've been thinking over the course of the last couple of years, our financial situation has gotten so bad that I've essentially been reduced to only being able to afford to drive to work and home. Maybe a pit stop on the way. I used to go fishing a lot and take the kids to the lake, and there's a beach and playground there. But since last spring, I've not been able to afford the gas and go anywhere but work. Well, this is unfortunate. This is probably why she's staying at the moment. And this is why you don't need to have more kids if you have a hard time even taking care of the ones you have, dude. Now, where the potential financial abuse question comes in, my wife, who hasn't worked for most of the time, insists that she be allowed, as she says, to leave to her friends 45 minutes away, multiple days a week, to meet up with her friends nearby and go to a secondhand stores and bookstores or whatever else. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt and telling you all what she told me, but this information about her whereabouts is alleged at best. Well, I'm confused. I thought she had a job, second and third shifts that he was talking about. Maybe that's a new thing. I don't know. Now, given that I'm the primary breadwinner and she is not working, her choice, which I supported because we needed the childcare, and she would spend, in my opinion, outrageous amounts of money on gas, as well as incurring wear and tear on the vehicle, outpacing me 2-to-1 on oil changes, to the point where I couldn't afford to take my kids fishing or do anything else with my friends outside of work unless it was a family outing, which were far and few between because of the money. But if I asked her to keep it 1 or 2 days at most, she would accuse me of being controlling and jealous. That hurts because I've always tried to be the best at not making her dependent on me. I don't like the dynamic. We've both been fairly autonomous throughout the marriage. Oh my God. To think that so many marriages are this freaking screwed up. I feel like normally a non-working spouse in a divorce would be allotted some kind of alimony or whatever. But in this case, the non-working spouse is running off and taking pictures of her privates and sending dozens and dozens, maybe hundreds of men right from the front seat of her car. She'd sex them and sometimes offer to leave the kids with me and run away with them. She talked about cheating on me in the past to one of her sexters. I assumed to signal to him that she was ready for it to go physical, but I have no further concrete evidence of that. I think she's just, obviously she's getting physical with different guys. And even if she wasn't, which is impossible to believe, she's still cheating. She's a terrible wife and mother. Get rid of her. I think she's hoping to find some guy to sweep her off her feet and take her away. But it sounds to me, based on his description here, she's not exactly the best looking girl. But these guys, they'll take anything, pictures wise and all that. And she's being tricky with the camera angles, make herself look better. And if they did meet her, they're probably like, whoa, I'm not spending any money on her. So in short, I paid for her to drive close to an hour away, 2 to 3, 4 sometimes times a week, and sex people on Snapchat, Discord, text, Messenger, and whatever godforsaken apps they be doing this crap on. Let me know if this would consider financial abuse. Isn't that a form of domestic abuse? Well, that wraps up where he's at. This is a continuing story. And I don't know how far this guy's going to go in terms of his updates until he finally talks to a lawyer. But if he happens to see this video because he's seeking advice, brother, I'm sorry you're going through. It's horrible. She's an awful person. Talk to a lawyer. Find any way you can to pay for the lawyer and get the ball rolling here. She's awful. And the fact that your kids found this and they want out, they want you to get rid of her, says everything. My goodness, my man. Get any help you can from your family or friends. Get a loan. Maybe that's why you want to try to get a loan from your employer. I don't know. But this has to end. And for God's sakes, don't rush into a new situation with another woman because they need a mom. And you can't afford to have more kids. But do what you can. You're a good guy. You're trying hard. That's great. But it's time to shit or get off the pot with this divorce thing. So I wish you best. But holy crap, guys. Yes, that's the type of crap that is out there. You must always pay attention. What your girl's doing, all that. My God. But, guys, I will continue on with these updates as this comes in with this guy's situation. But I'm glad at least he admits it's over with and he's going to get rid of her. All right, guys, as ever today, be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.